First of all, I guess I better say, it's all right if I use this so I can show off my students' English, right? I can show off your English to people. Yes, it's okay?
Yes, it's okay, teacher.
Oh,
No
perfect.
problem.
So anyways, all the English Andrea speaks, it's because of me. Like everything from the very beginning, just all Profe Kyle, all Profe Kyle. But no, that's not true. Actually, Andrea, you better tell me, because I don't think I ever got a chance to ask you. Oh, maybe I did, because actually you're interesting, because you are the first student I ever taught classes to way back in February. My first failed experiment at trying to teach classes online.
Yes.
And I taught you, I think, 2 classes. And I think you might have told me your English learning journey back then, but that's been a long time. So I guess for people who might watch this in the future, yeah, where did you learn English? In Boyacá and Tunja, in like colegio and university?
At first, the school, but it was just a basic English.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a boring class because of all the time the teacher just repeat grammar.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was hard to understand what she tried to tell me,
Mm-hmm.
because she made everything hard. You have to follow that grammar, that structure. Yeah. So for me, I want to learn, I don't know, maybe vocabulary or just the simple way to learn English, because it's really simple, it's easy. Yeah. If you don't have a good teacher, a good basis, a good lecture to understand, mm-hmm. it will be hard for you. Mm-hmm. So the first time, I hate it. I hate learning English. But then in the university, I have to learn basic English, because for graduates, mm-hmm. I need pass test. So it was funny. I like it. I was a good teacher. Mm-hmm. And then for enter in the program, upper program, I have to get a B2 or basic English too. So I follow studying in an institute. Mm-hmm. It was a regular classes around for 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
But then I finally found a YouTube video with mm-hmm. Profe Kyle for you.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is amazing.
But that was when you,
like
because were you still in Colombia when you found my first video, or were you in?
No, I was in USA.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was I can't remember what was the topic, but I remember your humor and the funny way you explain all these topics.
Yeah.
Like how to use verbs, how do you pronunciate that word. Mm-hmm. So I like it. And then I remember you start using that private classes.
Yeah.
And I'll say, come on, let's try it.
Yeah.
And I like it. I really like it.
Those first ones back in February?
Yes.
Yeah, you liked them? Okay, that's good. I didn't like them. Well, actually, when I first made them, because actually the classes that I made in February, like they were made using the way I was taught to make classes in Bogota when I got my CELTA certificate from Cambridge. And well, I guess you kind of experienced both types of classes now, those, I guess, classical Cambridge style English classes and my new style classes. Yeah. So did you prefer the old ones or did you prefer the new ones?
No, I prefer the new ones, but I like the first class because it was a new way you tried to teach me the simple grammar, the grammar. Yeah. Because you say, you're gonna learn this vocabulary, this grammar naturally. Mm-hmm. It means for me, you don't have to say me, come on, repeat twice, 3, 4, 6 times, anytime the same word, the same structure. No, you just make me understand what was my wrong word or what was my error. I think you say that.
Yeah.
So then you can recognize and you can self improve your skills.
Yeah.
So that was good for me. It was the first view to say, oh yes, you have to think in English. You have to get more options to understand English. Like read the book, try to read one paragraph. Even if you don't understand all the words, you see the grammar, you see the structure. Also, if you want to see watch some series or TV shows, try to just listen. Don't put some subtitles, and then you add the subtitles so you can see if you understand most of the paragraph, most of the series. So it was good. I'm trying to follow that routine, that structure, and it works, and it's still working.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one thing. Oh yeah, because I've talked to a few students. I think I talked to like Laura and Isabel about this too, and there's that one aspect of Latino culture, like that culture of what's it called, facilismo, where like there's certain Latinos who just want everything easy. And in a way, learning English, well, you follow my advice. It's pretty easy to just watch a TV show and watch a movie. Is that really hard to watch a movie, watch a TV show?
No, really, not right now. The first time.
Oh yeah. We can talk. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that because so far everybody said the same thing after taking my classes. But so for me it's like, this phone's ringing. Okay. I don't know. It always just says Alberta. It sounds like the government. The government is trying to call me. It's like, what does the government want from me? What does it want from me?
Just right now.
Yeah. It's like they knew I was talking to Andrea. I was like, why are you talking to Andrea? She's a very dangerous person to talk to.
No, teacher.
Okay, I think it's good. They call almost every day at the same time. It seems like always at like 9:30 they're calling me. I must have not paid taxes or something. I don't.
No, I know, teacher.
Oh no, I should say that. I pay. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything about that right now. Okay, but so for me is because for my classes, you definitely learn a lot in my classes, whether it was like the old style, like I tried to teach a lot, and in those classes I try to teach effectively, and then in the new style classes that I do, I try to teach a lot, and they definitely help students. But majority of the English that you're going to learn is usually not from a teacher. It's going to be from the books that you read, the TV shows that you watch, the movies that you watch, the music you listen to, and the native speakers that you talk to. And in your case, you have native speakers around you every day. So so I was like, I tell students, like, do this and you'll learn English like that. And then they think they don't need a teacher. And it's like, in a way, you don't need a teacher, but if you want to learn quicker, if you can find a good teacher, you'll learn a lot quicker as well. But like I tell you guys, I've told all my students, just, my classes, I'm glad that you guys like my class, but remember, you guys gotta be doing stuff besides the classes, or else it's just, nothing's gonna work. I can teach you pronunciation, but if you're not listening to other gringos pronounce English besides me, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work at all.
That's right. And also, your health is, I think, is a great and interesting part to understand English, because at the first time the pronunciation, it was hard for me, and it's a very important step I think I did, because for me I was a really bad pronunciation. Most of the words you can say very well, and you have another meaning for that word. So when you start with the extreme pronunciation, I didn't really improve that skill, because the people when I live here, or even my fiance, notice the difference. So also me, right? So that's the thing. You are you give us the topics, you give us the tools, and we decide what to do with that knowledge. So that's the important thing. You for us. You have the tool. We have the tool to just use it. So
because a lot of students when they don't take my classes, when they've never taken my classes, they keep on, like on Instagram and YouTube, they keep on saying course, your course. And for me, I guess in a way it's a course because, yeah, when you guys finish the classes, like in a way, you guys never have to finish the classes if you want, but when you finish the classes, you guys usually have the tools to, start teaching yourself, and by watching TV shows and by listening to native speakers, and you guys have all the tools to teach yourselves very quickly. So I guess in a way, my classes are a course on how to teach yourself English. Because there's lots of people that don't know how to do that. So because you're talking about pronunciation, and actually that's one thing that really, especially like the last week of classes, I noticed the last week of classes with you. It's like your pronunciation took, like right now talking to you too, like your pronunciation sounds like a lot better. Because I'm not gonna lie, those first classes with you, like you had a good English base, but the pronunciation, like I could understand it, but I knew for any gringo who had never experienced a Latino, like a Spanish speaker who with a heavy accent, they were not gonna understand a thing. And I get students like that, like you, and I had students in the pre-intermediate too, where the accent is so heavy that it's difficult for them to speak. So it made me happy because about a month ago, you told me that your host family for au pair, they're telling you that they were starting to understand you a lot better. They were noticing it.
Yes.
And for me too, as a teacher, I'm noticing that you're pronouncing things a lot better. I even hear a little bit of a Z when you say
Oh, yes.
a little bit of a Z. Yeah.
And still remind me when I go to the ground with my husky. He loves bridges.
Yes.
Come on, Andrea. Remember the vibration.
Yeah.
Vibration.
And the thing with that is kind of like, because the trick with the Z is the same thing with me with the R. It's reminding yourself where to put the tongue. If you just remind yourself where to put the tongue, and that's just getting to the habit of putting the tongue in the right place, doing the right things, and then it becomes easier and easier. Even though my R is still taking forever. Jeez, R, come on, let's go. You guys learn the Z a lot quicker than I do. That R español.
No, that'll take a long, teacher. Don't worry.
It'll come eventually, I hope. Or maybe I have some sort of defect in my mouth and I just can't say the word. Say this. So you talked, because it sounds like you didn't have horrible experiences when you first learned English. Like it sounded like you had some good teachers, not bad. But I guess, how would you describe, you can compare me in different ways. You can compare me with the other teachers, and you can also compare the methodology. But how would you compare my classes, my classroom environment compared to other, methodologies and other classroom environments?
I think your class is interactive class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the students can have the chance to participate in the class.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have basic or advanced English, you can learn, you can improve your listening, you can improve all the skills at the same time. Because when I have presential courses, I think you go to the class, you just improve one skill at a time. So today it was just grammar. Today you're just gonna be speaking or listen. So it makes the process more slowly and boring. So with your classes, all the classes, we're practice all the skills, the 4 skills. So you feel really improving yourself, and you say, I'm not wasting my time, I'm not wasting my money. Because you all the time say, come on, let's do it. And all the time you're motivated us to follow it, even if we're talking really wrong or we writing really wrong. So that's a continued motivation. So that's the important thing. We improve all the skills at the same time, and we can recognize when each mistake, or most of the mistakes we made when we talking or speaking or writing or listening. So it was really good. I think that's the thing I choose your classes, because I really feel I improve my English.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Because I do these test classes with students for students who are interested in my classes. And again, to keep on saying course. And for me, I just tell them it's not a course. It's more like you're going to the gym and you are working out English. It's every class you go to is just, it's like another day, another repetition in the gym, and you're improving yourself. You're improving your English. And because I get a lot of students too who think, well, if I miss a class, can I retake the class? Like, and they just get really panicky about that aspect of my classes. And well, you missed a few classes, and I think there's only been one student who's come to almost every class, and even she missed at least one class in 4 or 5 months of taking classes with me. So like, everybody misses a class, but it's not a huge deal if you miss a class, because and that's my biggest critique of the traditional way of teaching is that, and I'm glad that you said that, because you're the first one who said that out of all the people I've interviewed, but because that's exactly what I was taught, and that's why the teachers do it. They've been taught to teach one skill at a time. So one class is speaking, one class is listening, one class is reading, and and I'm glad that you said it. The students find it very boring. I remember learning this when they were teaching me how to teach, and I just thought to myself, oh, really? Like, so you're going to spend an hour, you're just going to give them a text, they're going to read. Like, I'm not allowed to talk to the students. I'm not allowed to do anything else. I'm just going to force them to read. And this seems so boring to me. And
And that's one of the reasons why I thought the first time English is boring. I feel frustrated because when I learn one grammar lesson, I have to make a test, do a test. So if I don't pass a test, I can follow learning.
Yeah, you can't keep learning.
Keep learning. Sorry. So I stuck in my courses and just say, oh my gosh, I try once, twice, and until 3 times to pass that test. So you start learning just for, I have to pay the bill for the courses. I have to pass my test, but you don't really feel you improve your skills.
Yeah.
So yes, when I'm going to finish my courses, my presential courses, I say, finally. But I don't feel, yes, I learned.
Yeah, it's like finally I finished these very stressful.
That's right.
And you feel like I haven't really done anything worthwhile. Yeah.
Or just few things.
Yeah. And I guess in my class is more finally, and more like a good fine, like finally I understand. Oh, finally.
Yes. You say your mind blow when you say, that means wow. Yes. Each day you say, I learned something new.
Yeah, for sure. And it always surprises me because sometimes, and that's why I like my classes, because, well, first of all, you learn through the context. So I have the story, and then I'll be talking to you guys, and I'll think, holy cow, there's a gringismo that I use every day, and I just teach you guys the gringismo, and it always surprises me how quickly you guys remember the gringismos. So yesterday was the first class for this month, and Jorge, I think you went to that. I can't remember, but I taught you guys fuera de la discusión in English.
Out of a question.
Out of the question, yeah. And I only said it, I don't know. I think I said 4 times in the class, but I remember I just said it in such a very dramatic way. And I guess because I say it so dramatic and I just make it so, I guess, fun, and it's not very serious, that you guys, I only did 4 repetitions of out of the question. And Jorge yesterday like, Profe, that's out of the question. It's like, holy cow, Jorge, you remember that? Because I wasn't planning on teaching that word. There's a lot of words that I teach you guys that I did not plan to teach that, but I teach it and you guys memorize it quite quickly. And so that always impresses me. And you guys always are learning new vocabulary in the classes. So
Yes.
it's like, I have no, like if a teacher asks me, what methodology do you use to teach vocabulary? It's like, I don't really have one. I just, when the moment's right, when there's a good moment in the story or in the class, and the students, you know, have that face of, I want that word. It's like, I give them the word and, you know, they usually memorize the word and it's quite easy for them. So
Yes. And I remember other thing, and you still use it. You always make everything funny.
yeah.
Yeah, so uh, I think that's the way we learn fast, because you always make kind of funny thing, kind of play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the basic way you learn, like a kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Because so yes, I think everything or most of the vocabulary you teach us is we remember for that thing. You
Mm-hmm.
always make a funny face, or you always make or any of the students make a, I don't know, joke about that word.
Yeah,
So it's easy for us to remember in the
yeah.
moment, remember the meaning. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you know, and then when I took my first teaching certificate, that's one thing that kind of made me sad when I first did it. I remember they made us teach one class for the first day to students, and yeah, I was kind of being myself like I am with you guys. And at the end of it, they said, yeah, you need to, yeah, you're wasting too much time. You're wasting time like trying to, you know, joke with the students and stuff. And so, you know, for the, you know, yeah, it's like I tried not to do it, but you know, at the same time, I don't know, for me, it seems to work. The students enjoy the classes more. And obviously, if I'm showing my personality, you guys get more used to the gringo humor and the gringo culture too, because obviously when I'm joking around, I'm usually joking around about gringos and about my culture. So yeah, you learn a lot for sure.
Yeah, that's a plus. We have it's different when you uh, spend time with a culture you just know about from movies, from I don't know, some research on the computer. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really understand what some topics or what is the style to talk or
Mm-hmm.
speak some culture,
Yeah.
is easy for us to understand most of the jokes or most of the idioms, most of the phrasal
Yeah.
verbs,
Yeah.
most of the things, because it's usual when you're talking, you say, oh, why try to tell me when he say that word or that expression.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a plus of the class.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, you live in Gringolandia, so
Yes.
it was always fun because I always what the intermediates. Yeah, there's always been somebody living in Gringolandia, and so I'd always use you guys because I would talk about Gringo culture, and I say, Andrea, that's true, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said anything about Gringos that wasn't true. You're always like, yeah, Gringos are like that. Yeah, Gringos, yeah, they definitely do that all the time. Or there's some word that yesterday I think you hear it all the time, but yeah, Gringos love bullshit. So I said bullshit in class yesterday, and there's another student. She's living in New York. She's a Colombiana, and I asked her, "We use bullshit a lot, right?" She's like, "Yeah, we use bullshit a lot." So, like, yeah, I try to teach you guys the words that we do use. They can be silly words. Like bullshit is like a really weird word, mierda de toro, but we use it all the time to say mentira, like bullshit. Yeah, mentira, bullshit.
Yes. And also, you say how to say it. I think you can say when you're angry, and that means one thing.
No,
When
yeah,
you say with your friends, means that thing. So yes, because for us, it's everything is new. Oh, most
yeah,
of the things are new, so you can use it wrong,
yeah.
and that's not
Well,
like the
too,
other.
and too, because with many Latinos, like for example, there's lots of gringos who like to use the word bitch. And yeah, bitch can be if they again, it's like explaining to you guys. Well, I think you kind of have experienced it already a little bit, like just being in the culture. But you know, if they say you're a bitch, like that's bad, that's mean. But if they say, oh, you're such a bitch, and it's like, well, that's like what they say. Yeah, for many Latinas, like especially girls, it's like. did you call me a perra? It's like, yeah, but they called you a perra, but in a good way. Like for them, it's in a good way. So you have to be able to understand these cultural aspects for sure. Yeah. All right. So I guess those are the things you know about my class. I guess let's get a bit more specific about my methodology. I guess the first thing, I guess for me, there's two things that I use in my methodology. I guess repetitions and then the pronunciation. So with the repetitions, I used a lot of repetitions with you guys. With the intermediates, like the repetitions don't have to be as intense because for you guys memorize vocabulary a lot quicker than the pre-intermediates. And that's still something I'm trying to get used to with the intermediates, is trying to make the repetitions not as boring, because you guys need more vocabulary and less repetitions because it's easier for you guys. And actually the class I did yesterday was pretty good because I had lots of vocabulary and fewer repetitions, and it seemed to work pretty good. But so I use repetitions a lot. And actually you've commented before that you really, for you, the repetitions really work. So what's your experience with the repetitions? Like when I'm doing all those questions, what's your experience?
I like repetitions because we can switch between tense.
Tenses, yeah.
Yes, tenses. Because, okay, you start saying, you give us perform like we're a movie talk or anything.
Yeah.
So you say, you are that person. So we identify when you say each thing with that person. We pay more attention on the class, right?
Yeah.
When we are repetition, we have to switch our minds and say, oh, this is in past tense, this is in present tense, this is in continuous. So we can identify quickly what's the tense what is the right answer. And also reinforce our grammar, because always we give you short answer. So with the repetitions, we reinforce our completely answer and write. We follow the grammar in each answer. And also the vocabulary. So it's good. We can identify the tense. We reinforce grammar, and also we reinforce the vocabulary in each repetition.
Yeah, exactly.
And pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main goal of doing the repetitions. And well, because before you're talking about like the boring English classes, and they also have repetitions, but those repetitions are a lot different than my repetitions, right? Like those repetitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also use the repetition just when it was a writing class, not a speaking class.
Yeah.
So that's different because we read the answer in the chat box.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking really, what is he asking? For whom? He asking for why, who, where. So we interacted with different questions and answers.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing in each repetition. It's not the same question all the time. It's not the same answer all the time.
Yeah.
So that's
and so it's training, because lots of students on YouTube, on social media, they always say, like, how do I stop thinking in Spanish when I'm speaking English? And one thing with the repetitions, again, that's a slow process. Like it's not something that any teacher or any student can just get rid of. Like you're gonna be thinking in your own language, in your first language, when you're speaking in English. It's kind of impossible to do. I still do it in Spanish, not all the time, but I still do it. But when I'm giving you guys questions, well, you have to respond quickly, and it doesn't have to be super quick. But again, you don't have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes in class to write down your answers and to think about how the grammar of it. No, it's like you have to give me the answer right away. And exactly, I really liked what you said. In my classes, we don't focus on one skill. We're focusing on as many skills as possible in one class. So you're always working on something: listening, speaking, maybe writing, maybe reading. You're always working on something, and you're working on all of them in one class. And as well, when I do the repetitions, exactly, we switch tenses. You got the present, you got the past. You have to you got I, you got you got he, you got she, maybe you got they sometimes. So you're constantly reinforcing, like you said, all the different tenses, all the different, subjects. And yeah, it seems to work really well with you guys. And I'm glad you guys noticed that. So yeah, repetitions. I like it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you got the repetitions. And I guess for me, the next thing how I would describe my methodology would be the pronunciation, because it seems like there's probably other ones, but it seems like I'm the first teacher for Latinos that focuses on good pronunciation. So I really focus on pronunciation. And before you quickly brought up extreme pronunciation, but I don't know, how would you describe the pronunciation that I teach?
It's the best class I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I just can say that, because
The best class overall, or like the best pronunciation class?
no, the best overall.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's no doubt. Yes, because first you say, okay, how do you pronounce this?
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, it's not so good, but come on, let's do it with the exercise,
Mm-hmm.
with the O, with the U,
Mm-hmm.
and even the examples, they are perfect. Because you say, okay, start with this, warm it up. So it's good, because always we remind that, or I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I say, come on, this is with the Z.
Yeah.
So make like the B sound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. You can remember with that example.
Yeah.
And also you force your mind working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
Remember that sound. Remember the example.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a skill I improve a lot with your courses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because yes, it was bad at the beginning, and right now I think is the most is the skill I improve in all these 3 months of classes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pronunciation for sure. Yeah.
Pronunciation,
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. And then, because with you guys, and I guess, if there's a teacher watching this, I did a live video about how I teach pronunciation. So, again, I guess Andrea's proof. So there's some teacher watching this, like, what? Well, because actually there's some gringos, like, not only like there's some gringo teachers, and they're gringos that I really respect. Like, they know, how the mind works and how learning languages actually happens. But I've talked to a few of these people too, and they tell me that you shouldn't teach pronunciation. Pronunciation is something that people will learn naturally. And no, I've met there was you, for example. You've been in the United States for a long time, and your pronunciation when you first came to classes, it's difficult. It was difficult for me to understand. And for me, I just don't think it's true that you can't teach pronunciation. I do think it can be it's extremely difficult to get rid of an accent completely, but it's not impossible to give somebody a neutral accent that almost completely disguises if they're Colombian or Chinese or African. It's a neutral English. And because with you guys, I did the warm-ups. And I guess maybe I'll say this as part of my methodology. I just say crazy things, and the crazy things help you guys memorize things better, because you got like the doctor vowel, so you guys remember, okay, the doctor vowel. And then you got the angry monkey, the ooh, 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 and then you got all these different vowels. And so I always start with the sounds, because if you don't know how to say the sounds, you're not gonna be able to say the words. So we do the warm up with the sounds. You guys practice that, and then the mouths are ready to start pronouncing the syllables. And because it seemed like you were the biggest, because I did change my pronunciation class a little bit, especially like the last month. I started using that transcription system, and you seemed like the biggest supporter of using this transcription system. And for me, for like my reasoning for why I switched to it, and what seemed to be working with you guys, was that it kind of turns off that switch in the Hispanohablante mind, where you have to speak how it's written. And when you have the transcription system, you start training your mind to speak English how it's actually spoken. But it's like, so yeah, what was your experience with the transcription? Did it seem to help you, think more English?
I love teacher, indeed, because when you read, you well in Spanish, um, you just read how you speak. So right now, I try when I read any article, any notice on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just my mind keeps reminding that methodology. So it's like, come on, get together words, get together many of these I don't know prepositions. Remember the mountains and views.
Values.
Values. Sorry.
Yeah.
So your mind working all the time. So remember that tips you give us. So it's very good. You feel, oh, finally I'm learning English in the right way.
Yeah. Well, especially the pronunciation, because
yeah,
I know the pronunciation is a big thing with Latinos. They just don't understand it at all, and
yes, and even when you talk, of course you notice the difference. Because for me, you say the Z, the V, and make that vibration. I noticed 2 or 3 months ago, I say really wrong and say, oh, come on, you can get a few mistakes and make few mistakes if you remember that tip the teacher gave you. So remember the Z, the V, and remember your tongue when you say the A, E, E. So that things you try to remember, and when you talk, when you start talking with to others, or when you start talking to yourself just for practice, you remember that. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. You finally understand yourself and see others understand when you talk.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really grateful. Say, oh, I understand all I understand everything I listen. I understand everything when I talk, because sometimes when you're talking, you start thinking in Spanish.
Yeah.
But now I'm start thinking in English. So, it was a good advance. Yes.
Yeah, right. So I can say, because lots of times when I do YouTube lives or Instagram lives, students will ask me, how do I stop thinking in Spanish? I'm just going to be really tongue-in-cheek, as we say in English, very sarcastic. Just take my classes. Yeah, that's how you stop thinking. You want to stop thinking Spanish, you take my classes. That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you something. Oh, and the other thing, like, I don't know, before you took the classes, how was your listening? Like, were you able to understand gringos when they spoke? Was it pretty easy for you, or was it difficult?
It was kind of difficult.
Okay.
Because native American people or native just use connect many words. Yes, get together, pronounce many words together. So for me, I have to say them. Excuse me, can you repeat? Excuse me, I can understand. Can you say it again? So right now, I just say once, or maybe in matter things, I say, so you say it again? But it was easily for me talk. It's easily for me listening to music, or when I'm talking with people, say, oh, I feel really comfortable to understand. So it's great. I really it's great because I can talk a little bit fast than before.
Yeah.
And
no, well, actually, because I can give an example. Like, if somebody's watching this interview until now, I'll give an example of something that I know that I probably taught Andrea. I know it's pretty sure it's something for me, but she said, she said, say it again. So normally for many Latinos, they'll say it again, say it again. So with a hard T, but So yeah, one thing that I always teach is that when a T is between two vowels, it becomes a D. And again, like, I don't think you were thinking, yeah, because you said that very quickly. You weren't thinking about it. So, but you said it very green. You said, say it again. You said it with a D, not a T. So that's definitely something that we work on in the classes. So I guess if somebody's wanting proof there, there's something that Andrea learned with me. She says, say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say it very quickly, very naturally. And yeah, that's how gringos speak. We're doing stuff like that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And also when you start talking with yourself, and you notice that, because it was frustrated when I'm just trying to use Google Translate with the speaker option.
Yeah.
And you say, come on, I try to repeat this word.
Yeah.
And I do many I repeat many times, and I'm just realized, but I listen this way. Why I say it wrong? What is the fault here? Where I'm failing in this part? And just when you start with the extreme pronunciation, I recognize my mistake, because sometimes I say wrong the th with vibration, and it was without vibration.
Yeah.
So when I try now the Google Translate with the speak option, I say, oh, I do it well. I say good. I say well. It's working. It's working.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the difference. When you realize the pronunciation is very important. When you start understanding all the topics, all that facts in the pronunciation, you notice you're really improving your English. You're really improving all the skills. So that's a great step of my professional goals, my personal goals.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, so my basic methodology, repetitions, and pronunciation. And yeah, you've talked a lot about the classes. I don't know. I think I've done most of the questions I wanted to ask you. Is there anything that I missed? Anything about the classes I missed that you really noticed? Oh, I guess one question. I don't know, but I can't really ask you that question because you kind of already knew how the classes were going to be. But I guess I can still ask you. Maybe you'll say something interesting. I'm not too sure. Like when you first signed up for classes with me, what were you were you expecting something like when you first signed up for classes? Because some students saying they were expecting the classes to be very strict and very professional and like and then once they take the classes, well, it's not like that at all. It's a very friendly atmosphere, very, very relaxed atmosphere. Was there something that you expected when you first started taking classes?
Of course, teacher. I expected just get a different class, that traditional methodology. Because I say, I just want to try something new. And if this works, I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
So if that works, I will say my sister, my cousins, all my family try it. Because I'm not the only one in my family right now is studying English. So if that works, I want to say them.
Yeah.
Come on, don't still wasting money in the institute. Or I don't know, buy books and just repeat. No, come on. Let's do it. Let's try it. Other thing that really works, because it's frustrating. You waste too much money buying books and go to the class, because you not just stay on the seat and listen to the teacher. It's just even the buses, even the time. So that really works. Your methodology really works.
So so you were expecting my classes to be very different. So before you took the class, you're like, Yeah,
Of course, teacher.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna teach a lot differently than most.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I search many of your videos on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
I watch many of the videos on YouTube,
yeah.
and I say, okay, if he teach like as he
Mm-hmm.
show us on YouTube, I'm
Yeah,
gonna like it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna keep on going with these classes.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, because yeah, because I tell that to students, and yeah, you just said it too. Is if you like the YouTube videos, then you probably like the classes because yeah, I pretty much teach the same way as I do in YouTube videos. Actually, one student told me that in the classes I'm even crazier, and I think that might be true that I'm even crazier in the classes because on YouTube I do have to be a little bit careful because you know there's always sensitive Latinos or maybe a very
Oh,
Catholic Latino. So, you know, I try to be careful about what I say. And obviously in the classes, you guys know that when I talk about Latinos or gringos, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to make a joke and help you guys laugh a little bit. So I think in the classes, I'm even crazier and I talk about even crazier stuff. So,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I get the point, but also I remember when you sometimes get your board and you writing on it some explanation about, I don't know, pronunciation
Yeah.
or meaning, or just give examples. You start, okay, come on. Remember, the tongue is between your teeth
Mm-hmm.
and the top.
Yeah.
So I say, oh, this is the first guy I know, I meet that say that thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's important because you sometimes say, oh, come on, look at me, but what
Mm-hmm.
are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What is the teaching doing? I can see anything that
Mm-hmm.
I can get and say, okay, that's gonna make me improve the way I say that letter, or I say that vowel, or I say that word.
Mm-hmm.
So is that important? I watched that in the videos, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm expected it's gonna be fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be different
Yeah.
at traditional education
Yeah.
in Latin America.
Yeah.
So it was really good, and I I get a good decision.
Yeah.
I make a good decision.
Made a good
I
decision.
made a good decision.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. All right. Excellent. All right. Yeah. So yeah. Any other things you can say? I think you said almost everything. You made a good
I'm gonna
decision.
pack it. Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Okay.
It's the best this year. One of the best this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Take classes with
Fantastic.
you. And I'm just saying, I'm gonna back in January, teacher.
Oh, you
Get
come
ready
back in
for
really?
that.
You come back in January? Oh, I thought you were done completely. All right, you come back in
No,
January.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
I was thinking to myself, like, actually, no, it really surprised me this month because actually like a few days ago, I was thinking to myself, well, because I'm going to take a break in December because all Latinos will be with their family and they're going to skip classes. I know they will. From my experience with Latinos, yeah, it's family for December. I know you guys are going to skip half of the classes because, oh, cena esta noche con la familia, and all that stuff. So, but I was thinking to myself, because it's been kind of hard to fill the intermediate classes sometimes. So I was thinking, well, do I want to do intermediate classes more? But actually, this month it's kind of strange because normally my pre-intermediate classes are really, really full, and there's usually people who want to take the pre-intermediate classes. And usually the intermediate classes, it's difficult to find students. And actually this month, my intermediate class is almost too full, and my pre-intermediate class is smaller than usual. So I guess I'll be back in.
Working, teacher.
I'll be back in January, I guess, to teach more
Yeah,
classes.
please, teacher. I come back.
All
I
right.
promise. Yes. Just right now, you know, uh, is my wedding next month.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. So the civil union, yeah, because it's like a civil union, right? Like a civil union
Yes,
ceremony.
teacher.
So that's happening next month.
Yes, teacher.
Oh, is it
So also I have to
November what?
16.
16th. All right. All right. Yeah. So
So
you
is
gotta get
that
everything ready, right?
yes, teacher, and also I started working at night.
Working at like another job or just the
No,
okay.
it's the same. Just
Okay.
switch my
Schedule.
schedule.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes I say, "Oh no, I'm tired. I wanna, I'm not gonna skip the class. So
Yeah.
I think about and say, oh no.
No, yeah. Well, but that's also another good thing about my classes, and I think that's another. Well, there's a few, I guess, extra benefits about the class. One, one that's good is that well, it's online, so you can do the class in your room. You can do it if you're in the bathroom. You can do it if you're in the kitchen. You can do the class pretty much anywhere you want. I can't remember if you were in the class with Dinora, but Dinora, she was a Venezuelan in Florida, but she did the classes sometimes while she was driving home from work. And so you can do the classes. I don't want students to get killed because they want to take English, but still,
That's extreme, teacher.
yeah, very extreme. But well, she never had the video on. She just had the sound on. So yeah, I said, don't turn on the video. Don't try to be looking at me while you're driving. That'd be very stupid to do. So there's that, and then as well, like it's not a course. It's not a course, and the classes are usually always different. So it's like going to the gym. So if you want to take a month break from the gym, you can, and then you just come back and then you just keep on training again. So yeah, like for students interested, so you can do just like Andrea. If something happens in your life, take a break and then you just come back, and you don't really miss that much because you're just always improving. Every day you're improving something. Every day you're learning new vocabulary. It's just never really, it's always something different. So,
Yeah.
All right. Very good, Andrea. So we've talked for a long time. This might be my longest interview yet. We'll see if anybody actually watches a full hour of people talking about classes. That'd be pretty good if they did.
Yes.
So, Andrea, thank you for the interview. And well, I don't know how to congratulate somebody for a wedding. Have a happy wedding. Is that how you say? Have a happy wedding. Have a happy civil union, November 16th.
Thank you, teacher. And thank you for all your time. You have very patient, and you're a very patient, funny person. So please, teacher, give up the Latino community the skills. Yes, teacher. Thank you so much for every class.
No problem. Anytime.
Yes, I hope you see you later next year.
Yeah. Well, now I know that you want to do class in January. If I do class in January, I'll be sending you messages every day. Andrea.
Please.
Okay,
teacher.
Okay, Andrea. So have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you in January. Okay.
Okay, teacher. Bye.
Bye.